The Infragistics Web Document Exporter utilizes the Infragistics document library to walk through the Web Hierarchical Data Grid or the Web Data Grid controls, exporting data into a PDF or XPS document while firing a bunch of events which you can handle to further customize the exporting process. This sample application shows how we can experiment with the exporting of a Web Hierarchical Data Grid using the Web Document Exporter. Through simple property settings, we can choose PDF or XPS file format that will be generated. Another thing that's configurable through property settings is the ability to export only the data that is currently loaded on the client side within WebDataGrid or Web Hierarchical Data Grid. Or we can export all of the data, and this feature comes in very handy whenever we have performance-enabled features such as paging or data that is loaded on demand. We also have the ability to easily take multiple grids and export them together within one document. We could also configure through property settings whether or not we want portrait or landscape orientation. This sample just shows a few of the most common features that we can set through simple property settings directly on the Web Document Exporter component itself. Another thing that we need to take a look at is notice how we have grids on this sample that are illustrating hierarchical data. So if I expand this one row, there are child records, and same thing with this row and all of the other rows that have an expansion indicator. Also take a note of the styling that is used on both grids. Let's click the export button and see what results we get. So by default, the document is generated and placed within the response stream so that you're prompted with a download. You can also write these documents to a hard drive somewhere on your server where there's write permissions enabled. So I'm going to open this document so we can take a look at it. And let me just resize it so it's in view. And now notice that we have the first grid with the same styling, and also notice how we have the records that are expanded. This can be set up to show or export the records as we see them, or if you export all of the records, you will also get the child records. So let me move over to export all data as an option and click the export button again so you see the difference. The first document that I opened only had the visible rows. Remember, a lot of these examples have the grids designed so that they're loading data on demand, and that includes child records. That's the case with this sample. So now I'm going to elect to export all of the data. So it's going to take a few more moments because now we're exporting several thousand records. And now I'm prompted to open or save the PDF document. So let me click on open so we can view it. And here it is. Notice that this is 65 pages of data, and every single record is displayed. The parent record is expanded to show the child records. And if I scroll to the very end, we get to see the second grid as well, along with the styling. So you can add the ability to export both of the grids using our Web Document Exporter that uses the Infragistics document library. Thanks for watching.
Infragistics. On the web at infragistics.com.